Welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, and today we're going to be talking about using your gut to make better decisions. So the Runpreneur vlog is part of the Runpreneur challenge, which is our mission to save the lives of children by raising £1 million for 6 amazing children's charities, which between them cover the whole spectrum of issues affecting children on a global scale. Now we're going to do this by embarking upon a crazy running challenge of run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of 1 lap around the world. So what does that mean? Well, it's a 12-year challenge of consecutive daily running, at least 5 kilometres every day whilst vlogging, and I even do it barefoot style. 40,075 kilometres in total, just shy of 25,000 miles, so it's a huge challenge. If you want to find out how you can support the challenge, please go to the links in my bios or go to the website challenge.runpreneur.co. So let's get started. So, using your gut to make better decisions. So, this was actually taken, it's a little bit controversial here, this is actually taken from Donald Trump. And this was before he was, a very controversial US president. This is back in his early business days, and he used this kind of philosophy or mantra to make better decisions, which ultimately allowed him to grow a huge business, or huge businesses. And obviously, as an entrepreneur or business person, or just being a person in life, there does come a time where you need to be decisive. And the world is based around decisions. You don't probably realise the number of decisions you're making on a day-to-day basis. Subconsciously, you're making decisions all the time, and you may not realise that. But quite often you come to a point in time where you need to make a fairly significant decision, and it's one that can often tear you in terms of which decision you make, why you're making the decision, etc., etc. And there comes a point in time where you've exhausted all rational theory behind a decision and which one to make, and you just have to make a decision, and that's where your gut comes into play. So what Donald Trump stated is that the way he kind of made decisions is he would first and foremost look at any situation from a logical standpoint. So, what are the facts? What are the figures? Is there any data here that provides some trends or gives us a kind of percentage outcome that if we make this decision, it's likely to result in this, or if we make that decision, it's likely to result in that. And he'd use logical reasoning first and foremost to have a bigger picture of what the situation is. But then ultimately, it would come down to how his gut would feel. So if logical reasoning discovers that there's a clear and obvious decision to be made, then fine, you don't need to go to your gut to make that decision. But quite often, there's no such thing as certainty when making one of these decisions. And quite often, it will be an on the fence type of scenario where it could go either way, and you're not convinced that either way is better than the other. And that's when you pull upon your gut. So you take all of the feedback, all of the information available, maybe people's opinions, maybe data, take all the logical facts and figures into equation, and then ultimately you just ask your gut and you ask your inner self, what am I going to do here? And then you make that decision based on gut feel and you stick by it. Okay, and the argument is that as you do this more and more, your gut will become more accustomed to making better decisions. So the feeling that you get in your inner body will hopefully help steer you towards better decision making as you do this more and more. And he states that there are times in life where you just have to trust your inner feeling. And the skill in decision making is doing this frequently enough to become better and better at making those right decisions. And there's no simple way of describing how you get better at doing this, but the more you do it, inadvertently or subconsciously, you get better at making better decisions by trusting your gut. So it's a relatively short episode today, but hopefully this makes you think that, do you know what? Sometimes you can exhaust all avenues of decision making, and ultimately it will come down to your gut feel. And the art here is trusting your gut, understanding that you're going to make the odd bad decision, but sticking by it, and hopefully the more decisions you make and utilising your gut feel will enhance the likelihood that you'll be making better choices and better decisions moving forward. So I'm not sure if that will help or hinder you when you come to your next decision, but understanding this process is quite a good way. And I think the key aspect here is exhaust all logical reasoning first, okay? And you only resort to your gut if, after all logical reasoning has been taken into consideration, it's still too tight to call. That's when you trust your gut. But if you go through the logical reasoning process before, many decisions will be made without having to utilise gut feel. But the ones that are tight, know and trust that your gut will ultimately make the right decision for the long term. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, the Runpreneur vlog is part of the Runpreneur Challenge, which is our mission to save the lives of children by raising £1 million for 6 amazing children's charities, which between them cover the whole spectrum of issues affecting children on a global scale. I'm doing this by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It's a staggering 12-year challenge of consecutive daily running, so it's pretty epic. I have to vlog whilst doing it, and I do it barefoot style. So if you want to find out how to support the challenge, please go to the links in my bios or to the website challenge.runpreneur.co. It's not .co.uk or .com, it's just .co. So challenge.runpreneur.co, and Runpreneur is spelled RUNPRENEUR. So challenge.runpreneur.co. Thanks for your support. Stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.